get to work. Go on.
Hey everybody, Gears here with the Darth Hare helmet build. So I'm going to take my time doing this. You have to put the external helmet together first, paint that and finish it before you can really put the internal bucket in and all the other stuff that belongs inside. So that'll take a little bit. And one thing I'm thinking about doing is helping myself out with this little 25mm fan. And if that happens to fit up here in the center, then I might be in for some good luck on both sides somewhere. But once it's together, I'll be able to tell where this can really fit, if not several of them running off a 9-volt battery. They don't have much of a draw, but I'll have to take a look at the stats. I can't quite read them now. But anyhow, on to the construction itself. And for that, I'll pretty much be following the Darth Hare videos to the letter. So let's see how it goes. Up in the corner here is a different prop I'll be working on, a different Star Wars prop I'll be working on. That is a Gillette Supermax hairdryer from the 70s. That has 2 darts kit. First step is rough up the interior so the glue will adhere better. You're doing the inside and outside in this case. Don't remember that the front matters, but what the heck while we're here. Nice and easy. I've had these guys under clamps for the last probably 10 minutes or so. Let's see how they're doing. They don't have to be super round, they just have to be, when they come to you, they're basically shoved in the box and they're still fairly straight. So I'm really hoping to get some better curvature here by leaving them wrapped up like this. And on this one, it's just the inside that gets it. And on this, it's only one side that matters as well. In this case, the outside of the curve. There we go, that's got a nice bit of curve to it. A little bit of room, that doesn't matter at all. The next step will be gluing this half together, clamping those as good as possible, waiting for that to dry, then clamp this on. Then it's already time to paint. Now at this point I'm kind of torn. My typical MO is to use standard super glue on all plastic like this. But this is going to be knocked around, it's going to be thrown, it's going to be handled, it's going to be pulled off my head, put on the head, and it's going to see some action. So I really want something that's going to be a bit more sturdy. Darth Hare's video, he uses some weld-on for ABS. In this case, I either have the super glue or some Testors cement. This will work just as well, however I don't know how old it is. And if it's really old, then it's just not going to hold at all, or at least as poorly as super glue would. It's also going to take hours and hours. So at worst, with the super glue, I'll be able to pry it all apart again and use a different glue, so I'll start with that, I suppose, in this case. And once I got that on there, it's going to be a matter of clamping it nice and tight all along the ridge. And I'll probably reinforce that somehow, but let's take a look at that as I go. So it's looking like if I want a really tight seal, all the clamps I have, the rest of the clamps I have after these 3 are simply not very strong at all. So I don't know if they'll even hold them on. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Nice thing here is the capillary action takes care of a lot of the glue section. Just get that in there a little and give it a little wiggle like that, and that helps spread it around. tighter bonded is held much faster and stronger than I thought it might. So I veered off course at the bottom here, it looks like a little while ago, and there really isn't going to be any way to get that back into place. Alright, so what I've just decided after all that thinking that I'm gonna do is simply crack this here and then glue it towards the end, because it does go a little short, and part of that is probably because of the grade I put in there. However, this would also allow me to fix that relatively easily. And it will leave a small bit of a hole up here, which maybe it'll help out with ventilation. So wow, super glue works great on this. I can't believe how quickly and strongly that really did set. There we go. Wow, I was going to leave this for like half a day or longer just to really set, but that is freaking in there. Give that a few more moments to sit. So it turns out, and I suspect what's happening is that the master block for this, that's going to go down relatively straight. However, there's still going to be some curvature probably as the piece comes off the plug, is what it's called. And so because of that, I was getting this plane to follow along that plane, which is throwing this strip outwards, which is why it started doing that. And it did it in the end here, despite my best efforts. Fascinating. That's not going to be pulled loose. So to get this back to straight, I'm either going to trim probably from somewhere around here. So that would bring this back straight into line, essentially. However, it's also possible that when this gets glued together in a moment, that it won't be a bad thing. That's a nice tight fit right as is. And it'd be nice to get a clamp into that area, but the super glue may be fast enough and strong enough that I don't really need the clamps. Yes, that's something to look for. So as is, this wants to sit just outside the corner, so I'm going to have to actually push that into the corner and make sure it holds nice and tight, pushing all of that pressure up here, and then doing the same here and then gluing the middle. Cool. Oh. It's already getting weathered. Nice. So that's the sort of look that I really want to get. So that's where it's metal. Even though this is painted onto the plastic, at this level of scratchiness, it looks like it's coming up from underneath. And that it happens to be brown and silver, rust colors, is a really great coincidence. So yeah, I wonder, let's, there's a bit of silver here on the, it's got a little on it, but let's see what happens here. Wow, fascinating. Haha, nice. That could be a new good way to weather. That's all the edges that would be happening, essentially. Sweet. There's an interesting technique I think I just came across. As to this, well, no time like the present, I suppose. Oh, I know why. I want to see how this is going to fit. There should be some overlap going on. Nope, so that looks good on that one. So it's a little shy in the back, but that's because the angle's just a little off. Once that tacks down properly, I'm going to suspect that the front is going to come into line. I can loosen up this angle with the hairdryer, but I'll do that after I get this into place. One last check. It's kind of centered, I guess. It would not hurt to cut this down first. So, particular instance, it would not be a wrong thing if I actually cut some of this away